Hey folks, it's the Red, and welcome back to the Crash Bandicoot Wrath of Cortex No Damage run. So, I'm noticing a bit of deja vu in this warp room, in that we haven't really had many levels so far that have had anything to do with the air or weather, very similar to Pyro's warp room. Until now, that is, as we are moving on to level 20, Weathering Heights.
Not used to the weather here, a wimp.
So this level, very much like the other last levels of the previous warp rooms that we've been to, is another factory-esque level in that. So we're going to be seeing many of the same types of enemies and graphic sets that we saw in those levels. Not much in the way of surprises. This one is taking place on board of an airship, though, so that's kind of interesting, and we'll be having a better view of that as we move further into the level. I just really wanted to blow up that robot. And these guys should probably try using something other than NES Zapper to try and shoot at me. Might be more effective. Same goes for these potion-throwing lab assistants. Why do all these enemies insist on shooting at the same spot? I'll never understand it. Also, there's this neat little blue swirly effect going on over the bottomless pits in this level. As far as I can tell, they don't really seem to do anything to you. It doesn't make it any harder to jump over them, so you don't really need to worry about those too much. This level does have a few tricks up its sleeve. They're just few and far between, but we'll see each of those as we get to them. And now we can see the exterior of this ship, and as you can see, it is on fire from the outside. From what I've read about this level, apparently there was supposed to be another level that leads into this one where you're using the glider to shoot at and attack the airships, and then the next level you break in and go through this level. But obviously that didn't make it into the final game, and so all we get is the part where we go inside of it. Still, interesting to hear about what would have been. And now brace yourself, folks, because this next section is going to be pretty great. That was a sarcastic pun. This isn't going to be very great at all. But I like that they put a few platforms down here so we can actually speed it up a little bit. Better than nothing, I guess. Once again, watch out for these robots and time your spin carefully. And now let's go to the bonus. This next bonus is another one of those look before you leap type bonuses, in that you shouldn't hit certain blocks before others. Exclamation boxes specifically. So we're going to go ahead and get this one up out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and hit this. I mean, theoretically, you could stand on that lit TNT and then do a high jump to hit that one up, but that would be a little risky in my opinion. And as for this one, well, you can just bounce across the crates, but just stand here, wait for the TNT to set off, and then bounce across. And then you don't have to rush. It also gives you time to hit this bounce crate for all of its wampas. Sneaky, sneaky. Okay, just a few one-ups around here. There's a lot of one-ups to be found in this particular bonus. Now, don't hit this exclamation box. Get these boxes out of the way first. We've seen Crash 3 do things like that before. Yeah, we'll block it off with TNT. And you have just enough time to get that one-up before it gets exploded. After you're done getting all those bounce crate one-ups. And there we go. Like I said, pretty good amount of one-ups you can get out of this one. Add to that all the wumpas that you get along the way, and you could easily make that 6. Once again, get this one-up out of the way before you hit the exclamation box. They sure like doing that puzzle to you a lot. I call it a puzzle, but it really isn't. I also like this set piece here, where it briefly has you going outside in the windy conditions. There's no wind that's actually pushing you back, which personally I think that would have been a good touch for this level. It would be fitting to the wind elemental mask. Hint, hint. Another missed opportunity for this game, I'm afraid. Now, the camera really zooms in during this part, and that makes it particularly dangerous for the things coming up ahead. There's going to be some hot vents that are spewing fire straight ahead. So make sure you're not going too far ahead too fast, otherwise you might find yourself jumping right into it. Now, if we look very closely ahead, yeah, you can kind of see the puff of fire up ahead, so I was waiting for that before I jump across. If you jump, it's very easy to jump over that hole without noticing that there's fire coming out of there, and then you'll just jump straight into it, and that's not good. And now for some more lasers, because every factory level has to have these, apparently. So we'll just let Crash have his James Bond moment. And here is another invisibility crate. It looks cool when you do a spin. But, yeah, don't get used to those because it's the last time we're going to see them. Too bad, another underutilized power-up. We'll have another brief look at the outdoors here. Looking a bit more cloudy out there. I guess the fire from the smoke is really picking up. These jumps can be a little tricky because waiting for the propeller and then having to jump over the nitro is a little dicey. Just make sure you're jumping close from the center of the platform so that you don't accidentally hit your head against the roof and shorten the height of your jump, which could easily make you run into the nitro. But there we go. That's pretty much all the hazards cleared in this level. Like I said, not a terribly hard level in my opinion. Kind of relaxed after the last few that we went through. And there's our gem. This is the only major platforming level that I know of that doesn't have a second gem in it, which I find kind of odd. But there we go. And with that, Wuthering Heights is finished. Once again, pretty simple, pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It was just kind of there sort of level. But I will say this, I do like the music that plays there. But we do have just a few outtakes to look at this time. We'll have a look at those, and be sure to join us next time as we take the fight to Crunch and Lolo in Atmospheric Pressure. See you then! Well, that was, shortly lived. But, just like the other factory levels, many of the same assets... Really? Can't even jump on an enemy, apparently. However, this level is taking place on board of an airship, in order to fit the theme of the... Well, hello! Oh, wow. That was record levels of dumb. Goodbye! This one is taking place on board of an airship, but... Okay, well, didn't look like I touched him, but okay. Sure, hit detection, I'll take your word for it.